How's it going, everybody? Thank you very much. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. Welcome to another classic movie review. Back in 1987, Pulitzer Prize winning playwright David Mamet released his very first theatrical feature film, the movie that I'm about to talk about. If you haven't seen it, if you never heard of it, get ready because you need to check this out. It's called House of Games. This was one of the best movies of 1987, and I'm ashamed to say I only saw it quite recently for the first time. I wish I would have seen this long ago because I have a feeling this would have been one of my favorite movies from back in the day. And well, never too late. Better late than never, I guess. But I am very glad that I finally watched this movie, and so now that I have, I am spreading the word, which is my mission on this channel to spread the word about all the old classics that people aren't talking about anymore. And yeah, this is a great movie. Stars Lindsey Crouse and Joe Mantegna. If you don't know Lindsey Crouse, maybe you remember her as the mom from Indian in the Cupboard. I remember she was also in the Charlie Sheen 1996 science fiction film The Arrival. And Joe Mantegna, everybody remembers him from The Godfather 3. He was Joey Zaza. He got bit in the ear, Mike Tyson style, by Andy Garcia in that movie. And Fat Tony from The Simpsons. The great Springfield mob boss. But here he gets to actually play, a real character, not like a comedic, side character like in an Adam Sandler movie, like he has like in Airheads or Three Amigos, where he had a small part as Mr. Flugelman. But here he is very cool as a leading man in this movie, or as a co-leading actor. And yeah, the movie is primarily about the character of Margaret Ford, Dr. Margaret Ford. So at the beginning of the film, we see that Lindsey Crouse's character, Dr. Ford, is a therapist, and she has just written a book, so she is also an author. So she's a very successful person. And early in the film, there's a scene where she is having a session with a patient. I believe his name was Billy, and Billy is having a serious crisis, life-threatening crisis, and he kind of challenges Dr. Ford as his therapist to help him because he thinks that she really can't do anything for him and that the book that she wrote and all the therapy stuff is really nonsense, and how can it really help somebody in a situation like his where what if your life is on the line because you owe somebody money. He tells her that uh, he owes somebody 25 grand, and if he doesn't get the money like ASAP, he's gonna die. And so he basically like dares her. So Dr. Ford assures her patient Billy that she is going to help him with his problem. Billy gives her an address, and later that night, she shows up at that address, and it turns out to be a bar called House of Games. And when she goes inside, she meets Joe Mantegna, who plays Mike. Turns out that Mike is the guy that is the one that Billy owes the money to. And she tries to make a deal with Mike, and she pretty much just says, you're not going to hurt this guy. You're not going to touch him. You're not going to do anything. You're going to just leave him alone, and we're going to work out some kind of deal. From the very first scene that we first see Joe Mantegna's character Mike in the film, right away we can tell that this is a very street savvy character. He's very cool. He's very calm. He's very articulate. He knows just what to say and how to say it. And you can tell that he's also a tough guy, but he doesn't feel like he needs to show it off. And it's a very, very well written character. I love the dialogue in this film, especially all the stuff that is said by Mantegna, because his delivery is so great all throughout the film. Because of the way Dr. Ford speaks to Mike in this scene, the way she asserts herself, the way she is very upfront with him, you can see that he is a little bit impressed with her and has a bit of respect for her in this moment, to the point where he does ask her if she will help him to beat somebody at cards. He's in the middle of a card game, and the proposition is if she helps him to help spot somebody's tell to win a game and help call out this guy's bluff, then he will wipe the slate clean of this guy's debt. And she agrees, and so she goes in this back room where they're playing cards, him and a couple other guys. Dr. Ford's character is a very smart woman because pretty soon she starts to pick up on certain things that I don't want to give away in this review. But it's a very cool reveal when she finds it out, we find it out. Don't want to spoil all the good juicy stuff for you. As the scene goes out, we find out that there's a lot more to this card game than meets the eye. And we see that Dr. Ford is a very smart woman because pretty soon she starts to pick up on certain things that I don't want to reveal for the review. But what I can tell you is that Joe Mantegna's character is a lot more than just a mere card player. He is a downright con artist master, to the point where she is so impressed by him, she starts to become seduced in his way of life to the point where she asks him if she can write a book and if he will school her in his ways, basically. All of the scenes with Mike teaching Dr. Ford how to be a good con artist, the way he applies his trade and earns his living, it's fascinating stuff to watch. And you can see that David Mamet is so good at writing not just regular dialogue, but all the criminal technical jargon that a streetwise criminal would know, because a lot of that dialogue, it just feels like it rings true. It feels very authentic, and there's just this real sense of insider knowledge whenever you hear Mike's character speak to Dr. Ford. It's not too long before Dr. Ford gets in too deep with Mike and his criminal ways, and pretty soon she starts to see that she's in way over her head, and she gets to a point where she wants out, but by then it just might be too late. And there are certain cons in this movie where you're not sure when the con starts and when it ends, and that's another fun aspect of this movie. I give this movie 4 stars. This is one of the best films of 1987. Great performances from Joe Mantegna and Lindsey Crouse. The directing, the acting, the editing, the pace, everything is perfect. This is one of the great 80s movies, and if you've never seen this movie, highly recommend. House of Games. Have seen this on streaming, but if you haven't, hard copies are out there. This is my copy of House of Games, the Blu-ray. You can't tell by much by this cover because it's just looks like a poker table and a light above. Very mysterious. Thank you very much for watching this classic movie review. I always appreciate it. If you're into classic movies and if you're new to the channel, hit the bell and subscribe. You will get more notifications on more upcoming classic movie reviews. And if you want to comment, if you want to share, if you want to like, I always appreciate that kind of thing. Thank you very much for watching. Everybody take care and have a good one. Peace out.